Welcome back to Just You and Me. I'm Donna.
And I'm Adam. I'm sorry, I had to burp right before the beginning
Really?
of this.
Horrendous.
Well, listen, it's a
I'm
bodily function. What am I
Thank
supposed
you. Thank you. I'm surrounded by boys
to
in my life, on the
Yes, you
show.
are.
Last night, Dylan and Oliver and I were watching Modern Family. That's like our if we can get the kids to like brush their teeth and get ready for bed by like 8:45, we'll watch a show together.
Okay.
And because my kids are going to bed like by 9:30 at this age, and so we like Modern Family because it's a show that all four of us enjoy, and it's so freaking funny. That is a great show. We're on season 2. We're like halfway through season 2. I've still seen all of these episodes. Like I can't remember when I fell off Modern Family in real time. I definitely did not watch the whole season
We didn't either.
series.
We fell off at a certain point as well.
Yeah, but it's like it holds up. That show is funny. We're
That's good.
laughing.
Good to know.
And like it's a good show that like for the whole family because some jokes probably go over their head, but my kids are at the age where they can kind of like understand sexual type jokes, whatever. And but so much of it is kid friendly because there's so many kids in it. Like it really relates to everything. But anyway, last night, the reason I bring it up is because last night we went to Gyukaku for dinner, which is a Japanese barbecue dinner. I did not feel like cooking. We'll get into the day after the bar mitzvah. I was
By the way,
exhausted.
you don't feel like cooking, but you kind of are cooking when you go there. Like
You do way more work than
So
you
why
have.
did you go there? If you didn't feel like cooking, go somewhere where they cook for you.
Dylan has been asking to go, and it was like a birthday weekend, and I was like, whatever. It kind of felt good, like cozy, and I was, I was so tired. It was rainy, and I was a little hungover. I was like, this is a perfect. We went at 4:45. Okay, we were, and it was packed.
Wow, really?
Well, it feels like 7 p.m. now with the time change.
I guess before 45. That is very, very old of you.
It was wonderful. We were done with dinner by 6:15. Done.
Listen, I'm not judging you. It's just pretty interesting.
You sound like you're judging me. Anyway, we got home, and then after Gyukaku, and then the kids were drinking LaCroix, okay, so soda water. I was surrounded by, I'm not joking you when I tell you, I left the room at some point because the three of them were burping and farting, like psychotically. And I said, I can't be in this room anymore. The smells, the sounds. I started to think, this is a torture chamber. I'm in a torture chamber sharing a bed with the three of these. And dogs. Dogs!
Oh, God, the dogs fart, too. Yes.
I was like, this is actually my nightmare. I struggle a little with, what's the word when you can't stand when people make sounds when they chew?
Oh, I don't know. There's a term for that?
Yeah, there's a whole term. And misophonia. So all the sounds of like the burps and the farts and then the dogs when they start licking each other. Blah, 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 blah. And I thought I was going to lose my mind. I was to just take me out. Take me out now. Like it's over.
This is what happens when you have boys. I mean,
why?
You should have not had boys. You should have had girls.
I should have really picked a different button when I was, naturally having babies.
We're a little different on our side here in this household. Two daughters.
Girly.
Yeah, and I'm just the one who's doing it. Lincoln, every time, still laughs. And she's 6. She still laughs and still thinks it's hilarious when Dad farts, when Dad burps.
Because she doesn't, because they're girls. Girls don't do these things.
Yeah, they don't do it. Yeah, she does. Lincoln definitely does. Lincoln actually one time was in another room and ran into the TV room where I was just to fart on the dog. And then ran right back without anything. She literally just ran in, farted on the dog, and then ran back. Like,
oh my God, hilarious.
Daughter.
Well, speaking of Lincoln, she was very, very popular at the bar mitzvah on Saturday night at Dylan's bar mitzvah.
Please tell me, because you made some kind of ovary comment.
Well, yes. I walked into the cocktail. We were in the cocktail hour, and It was like like the lobby of the country club area, and there was a photo booth. And I just walked out of the main room because I was in the main room for some reason, and no one was allowed in the main room yet. So everyone was in the cocktail room, and I walk out, and Lincoln is sitting like on a little stool in the photo booth with like I don't know what, like she had a crown on or something. I don't know, so a boa. So cute. and she's so petite.
Yeah.
This girl is so small. She's 6 years old, so she's young anyway, but she's also really, really small. I'm not going to make a short joke about you. I'm trying
Thank
really
you.
hard.
Appreciate it.
But I just did, like in a weird, if you
Police
know,
question.
like you're listening, and I said, I'm not going to make a short joke, but that was my way of making a short joke. Anyway, so she's so cute, so petite, so small. And she was the youngest kid at the party, obviously, because
Yeah.
I don't have a lot of young family members, or no one else has young kids. And just like everyone was like, I'm dying. I'm dying. She's so cute. And I looked over, and she's just so girly and so cute and just so sweet. And I know that she's a terror because she's a 6-year-old girl and she like gives you a hard time, but she's
And
adorable.
she's a second child, right? So it's all
Yes, they're all animalistic.
yes. No, she was especially adorable, and the entire evening, there was a lot of just her wanting to dance, constantly dance. Like
So
she would
cute.
it was two modes. It was either falling asleep at the table or dancing. Like those are the two things.
She fell asleep at the table
She was
trying
getting
to.
really tired, but the second I would say, okay, let's go dance, she would all of a sudden just like a flip of a switch, just get up and run over with dad to dance. And that was like her thing all the entire time. It was
Oh,
pretty funny.
that's so cute. And is Bellamy the older not into dancing as much?
Oh no. Bellamy is different because she would be on the dance floor by herself.
Oh,
Like
cute.
she'd be just doing it, and yeah, I'd dance with her, and Lauren would dance with her, and she was dancing a lot with our other friend's daughter, and just a lot of dancing. Everybody, we were dancing like crazy.
It was so
Everything.
like that was the cool. Okay, so yes, so Dylan finally had his bar mitzvah, the build up for the bar mitzvah, and it just came and went. And it was, I was just talking offline with you. It was minus like one tiny little hiccup about the video montage, which was totally not about the party. It was like a separate AV issue, but the party itself and the service went so wonderfully. Minus I would say the only negative was that it was pouring rain, but thank God it was inside. There was not an
Completely
outdoor
inside.
element.
Yeah, you
And
were
and
you were
that
very lucky to have that.
yeah, and we didn't even have to like shift that. That just was the plan anyway. And the location was so perfect in the sense that it really is a great venue. The food was, you said, great. I hardly
Yeah,
ate.
the best food I've ever had at a definitely at a bar mitzvah, but it's like even up there with, you know,
Like an event.
formal events like weddings and any of that kind of thing. It's was great in that respect because it wasn't fancy by any means, but it didn't need to be obviously because it was a bar mitzvah. But it was
Yeah.
so I think what was so good about it was the fact that there was so much variety
Yeah.
and
Everyone
it
had
was
something.
all but not only was it that, it was all good. Like each of the things, each of the stations were delicious. So
Yeah.
you knocked it out of the park there.
Thanks. Yeah, I was really impressed. Like I had a few because I know Lauren, your wife, is a foodie. She said that. You said that, and then also, and my friend Lainey, who is a food blogger and big on food, said the same thing. And my friend Alexis, who is literally the queen of bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs, because she goes to so many. She has an older son. Her husband's a son of a cantor. They literally are like friends with every single Jew in the valley, so they're always at bar mitzvahs, bat mitzvahs. She called me to say the same thing about the food, and that's a big
Awesome.
thing for people to know that you're serving good food. You know what I mean? Like that.
Oh,
That feels
absolutely.
like I did it. Like I cooked it.
I mean, I feel like any Jewish event, really, food is so important. It's such an important part. Like anything from a wedding to a bris, like why like the bris thing is very weird. It's like, okay, let's cut off a piece of the penis and then have deli meat. Like it's just the weirdest thing, but you get very excited that you have very good deli meat at the
Well, I
end
think
of
we're
it.
just always very excited about food,
Yes. I mean a lot
no
of our,
matter
like,
where we are.
everything we do, even from the holidays, like there's such tradition with food. Like I am super excited for latkes coming up next month because Lauren makes amazing latkes, and I will eat them hopefully all month long. So it's
Yeah.
like there's it to be at a bar mitzvah and to have that good of food is obviously was great. But
Yeah.
your what killed me was your ice cream sundae bar, which I
I
I
ate
can't.
so much ice cream. That's the one
I've
thing I ate.
I have never had more ice cream and cookie. I threw everything in that
Into
ice
that
cream
cup.
bar into that cup. I fit cookies and brownies and gummies and everything just thrown in there. It was. I felt
I
great.
know. And what's weird is like I missed dinner because I think I was just so enjoying myself, like socializing. I didn't feel like sitting and eating. I randomly would grab fries off people's plates. I think I ate probably a couple of your fries. I don't know. And then I took like one bite of Lance's Reuben. So I definitely was having bites here and there. I did not touch an appetizer. Oh no, I had like one little bite of a past appetizer. So I definitely was drinking my calories, right? And I was drinking my martinis all night. So there was no question about that. But something happened around dessert where I was like, I need it. And I think I ate two cookies, a brownie, and a full cup of ice cream with sprinkles. Like I went to town as if it was going out of style. Like, and then they sent us home with bags and bags and bags of chocolate chip cookies and brownies. I gave some away yesterday because I was like,
Wow.
what are we gonna do with this?
No, you can't. You can't eat all of that, especially
No, it's
you.
sick. And like honestly, you think you're so excited like that night. You're like, "Yes, I'm going to take all." And the next day you're like, this
can't-
is crazy.
Where am I putting all this shit? It's gonna
Exactly.
go to
So I
waste.
gave some to Dylan's school. But yeah, so the food was great. DJ was so fun. Like you said, the dancing was so fun. All the kids were dancing. The parents were dancing. We had some Israeli music, of course, the hora and everything. And then we went into like the popular music for the kids. But also there was like music for our age and like
Yes.
our
Always
decades.
good. Always
Yeah,
good.
so it was a good like a mix, and then there
Yep.
was games for all the kids to do. So the kids were occupied. They had henna, they had like girly dance revolution type stuff, but they also
Yes.
had foosball and whatever. And then photo booth and all of that. They had the boba. Like it was,
Yeah.
there
That
was
was
a
a hit.
lot to do.
Yeah.
I think
And then
blackjack.
you gave away sweatshirts
Yeah,
to
we
all
gave
the
away all
kids,
the merch.
which
Yeah,
was pretty funny because, of course, I mean, and not that it's your problem or your issue, but I'm like, what is the absolute smallest size I can find for Lincoln? And it was absolutely huge on her, which is still
even the
really
small was
funny.
huge. But you should have. I hope you still took it.
Yeah, no. We found the extra. There was like two extra smalls in the
Yeah, there
entire
was a
thing.
really extra small because I looked at it and I was like, no one I know can fit in this.
So it's still too big for Lincoln, but that's fine. She'll grow
She'll
into
grow
it.
into it.
She'll, like when Dylan is 15, she's going to be roaming around with a Dylan sweatshirt. It's going to be very confusing.
That was how I remember when when our kids went to like our friends' bar mitzvahs a couple years ago. They came home with sweaters and they were like on their knees, but now like it fits them perfectly. But
That's so
yeah,
funny.
it's we have so many of those sweaters left. I don't know what
I'm
to do.
sure
We
you
probably
do.
have like 30 left. What am I going to do with all these Dylan sweatshirts?
Donate
I
them,
guess I need to find a Dylan that's obsessed with musicals.
I guess. Or you'll just randomly like walk around Los Angeles and there'll be a pack of homeless people wearing Dylan sweatshirts.
I mean, I should just find, yeah, like I'll be able to, or Oliver loses sweatshirts every day, so it's actually good.
Oh,
I'll just keep
perfect.
them around. It was a really fun night. The service I was a little bit nervous about just because, like you never know. But our rabbi's great.
So that's
He's
what I
so
wanted to
great.
talk to you about that
Yeah.
because it was definitely interesting because Lauren and I were talking about this. We have Bellamy is 10 years old, so we're not there yet, but we're also we've been to in the last year we've been to 3 bar/bat mitzvahs just from like friends that have a little bit older kids than ours. So we're kind of like starting to take notes, and I know Bellamy's taking note. That's for damn sure. So we're Lauren and I are definitely like talking about all these things, and one of the things we were talking about was the service. And I thought it was so different than so many other services we
Oh,
went to.
really?
Yeah, because I think, and not a bad way. I think it was just less formal than what I've seen before. So usually when I go to a bar or bat mitzvah, it's at a synagogue, right? The service is at a synagogue, and you have to open up the ark for the Torah, and you do it's just a little bit more formal, which has its place, and but doesn't mean it has to go. It has to be for everyone. I think what you guys did was definitely interesting and fun because I think, first of all, your kids go to a Jewish day school, which is very cool because you have a rabbi there who really knows the kids. It's not just like the rabbi who is at a synagogue.
Signed, yeah.
Right. And then the person goes through, a year or two of training for their bar mitzvah, and then that's it. You have somebody who really knows it, really knows the kids. And I thought also that was cool that the rabbi knew everyone, all the other kids that were there, and all the kids that were, because they all go to Jewish day school with them. So I thought it was interesting because it wasn't like the normal kind of feel to it, but I like the relationship that the rabbi had to everybody. And I was talking to him afterwards and everything, which was great to.
He's going to do our show.
That's right. He is, because he was.
He wants to do our show. He's great.
He was talking to me about Just You and Me, and he was very excited that we're doing this and all that stuff. So
yeah, he loves that we do this.
Yeah, I thought that was very cool.
He calls himself the hot rabbi from Nobody Wants This.
Oh, is that what he does? By the way, speaking of, I haven't watched season 2 yet.
That was on my agenda to talk about today. We'll talk about it briefly because I just finished it last night. I'm not going to spoil it, but I want to talk about it first.
I feel like this should
in a vague way.
Like a homework assignment. So maybe I can. How many episodes are there?
It's 10, but it goes so fast because they're 25 minutes each. Like it's
so
boom,
maybe
boom.
I'll watch it, and maybe you can tease it or do whatever you have to do.
I'll tease it, and we can talk about it next week. Maybe
we can talk about it next week. I can go through it, and I got to remember. I got to watch a recap from last season. And
okay.
I don't remember.
Well, let's finish this and let's go into it.
Okay. The other thing I was going to say, it is interesting too, and I'm just thinking about when we were kids and we went to bar and bat mitzvahs, and at least for me, when I was at at the ones that I went to, there's so many differences now between like when I was a kid and when and like the bar and bat mitzvahs that I've been to now. So I think one is that the kids dressed up more back then.
Oh yeah,
we were 13 than they do now. There was just a lot of like jeans and maybe nice sweaters because it was cold. I could have seen them wearing t-shirts if it wasn't a
lot of them were t-shirts.
Yeah, probably. And so it was just very different. Again, this is not a bad thing. It's just one of those things that it just changes through the times. So I thought that was interesting. The other thing too, and this has been for the 3 that I've been to in the last year, is that they don't do the candle lighting ceremony anymore. I don't know if you remember that when you were a kid. Of
course, the challah and the candles.
Right, the challah, exactly. And so for anyone who's listening who's not Jewish, like a couple of the things that we used to do when we were 13 in the 90s. One was we did the blessing over the challah. I specifically remember my great uncle, who was a Holocaust survivor, is no longer with us because he was old. He did the prayer over the challah, which I always thought was cool. So he did it in front of, not at the ceremony. This was at the party. And then the other part was the candle lighting ceremony. So the whole idea there is I believe there's 13 candles to match the 13 that you are. And each candle, you said like a little speech and you dedicated it to a group of people or a certain person who was there, and then they would come up and light the candle with you. So each candle would be lit with a different group of people or a different person. They just don't do that anymore. And I always like that kind of thing. I don't know why.
I always remember there was like one for the friends, one for the cousins, one for the grandparents, one for the mom, one for the dad, whatever. Yeah, right. It was a huge part of the bar mitzvahs that we grew up with, and it's completely, but I think it also may still happen on the East Coast.
Oh, really?
The only reason I say that is because my friend Doug, who was supposed to come to ours, but he had to go to one in New York. He's from New York. He's from the East Coast, and he said that he's like his kids are going to do it because it's like he still goes to them on the East Coast, like his friends' kids, and I think they still do it. I could be wrong, but it may be like a cultural shift here in Los Angeles now, and it's one of those things that like if one person doesn't do it, the next one says I don't do it, and then the next one just doesn't do it, and it becomes kind of like out of trend.
Yeah, that was a little.
I don't know if Dylan's ever done it or seen it at a party because he didn't even mention it and no one's ever mentioned it. They call it the motzi, right?
I don't remember what it's called. I just remember it's a candle light.
The challah. But yeah,
Oh, the
it's
hamotzi. Yeah, the
hamotzi, the
hamotzi. Yeah,
hamotzi. But the candle lighting is totally not a thing.
I know.
And that is kind of a bummer, but the service, I don't go to a lot of services. I really don't. And a lot of the services that we get invited to are in the morning, and then the parties are at night. And so
Yeah.
Dylan misses a lot of the services too.
Speaking of the service, the one other thing that I wanted to point out was, and I was wondering if they were going to do it, but I'm glad he did. So I haven't, since my father passed, which has been a little over a month now, which is crazy to me. I don't think I've really been to too many Jewish services, or just it has nothing to do with me not wanting to go. It's just that's how it's been. And at the end of the service, which is very traditional for any type of Jewish service, is the rabbi will lead the congregation in the mourner's Kaddish, which is, pretty much talks about the people who are not there, who are missing. And one of the things when we buried my dad, we were talking to the rabbi who was there to oversee his funeral, and he had said basically for the sons and daughters of the person who has passed, it's traditional to stand for a year. So for the next year, anytime there's Kaddish, you stand for it. That's just kind of, I guess, a tradition, or somewhere written somewhere. I don't know. So that was the first time I was able to do that, and you were doing your thing, but I don't know if you saw. I lost it. I absolutely lost it. So I was there, and I saw a couple people not looking at me in an awkward way, but people I knew. They saw that I was in there. Obviously knew. Bellamy came up and she hugged me. She knew what was going on. She was sad about it too. And then I, just like a woman, I rushed to the bathroom to start crying in a stall.
To change your tampon?
Yes, to change my tampon and get tissues. First tampon, then tissues. And it was not easy. And then, we go to the cocktail hour and I get a drink, and I'm like, I was in a shitty state of mind. I'm like,
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I'm like, I don't want to be here. I'm like, I'm feeling like crap right now. After that, people came up to me that we know saying, "Are you all right?" This and that. And then all of a sudden, the alcohol kicked in. And you know what? It was like, it's time to party now. It's time to party. Like, I did what I had to do. I kind of, I felt like shit, obviously. But the alcohol kicked in. I'm like, all right, let's get this party started.
You were at a bar mitzvah and you were honoring your dad. It wasn't like you were, doing anything that he wouldn't have wanted you to do. You were sit with your family at a Jewish function. Your dad wouldn't be like, go home and cry now, son.
Yeah, I know. It's one of those things, and dealing with these types of emotions, and my wife Lauren has, her dad had passed, so she knows that there's just going to be days or just random moments where it just hits you, where it's like, oh my God, he's gone, and and especially when you go to a Jewish function and you're doing the mourner's Kaddish, it's kind of the idea of it. I lost it. And
that's when you're in mourning.
Right. But I am glad that you guys had top shelf liquor, which made me just
What were you drinking?
I was drinking mostly vodka sodas, because I do usually when I'm at a function like that and I'm drinking and drinking and drinking and drinking, vodka is kind of my way to go, and vodka soda usually is a good safe bet for me, so I don't feel too terrible the next day.
Got it.
Yes. But yes.
Yeah, everyone was very excited.
You and my wife were drinking martinis.
Got it. Everyone was very excited that we didn't go cheap with the alcohol. My friend was like, I can't believe you have Casamigos.
I know, and you had, what was it, Grey Goose or Kettle? I don't remember which one, but it was like...
I was doing Kettle One martinis.
Yeah, so you did not go cheap on the booze, which was great.
Well, I was like, our friends are drinkers. Like, I'm definitely not going to serve them like Costco brand tequila.
Can I bring up one more funny moment that I just
Of
thought?
course, any funny moment.
This was
Was it
so.
my mom jumping up in the horror?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
Shut up!
I
Shut
swear
up!
to God.
Shut up!
It was seriously like what was so funny about it
I've never
is
seen it. Never in my life.
again traditionally at a bar mitzvah, at least a westernized bar mitzvah like we have, it's usually the bar mitzvah child, a sibling, and the parents usually separately get hoisted up in a chair during the hora, and so. I think, your two kids went, and then was it you or it was you first and then
Lance.
Lance. So it was you first and then Lance. And Lance went, and I'm like, everybody, backed away from the chair, and I was about to go sit down. And then
you
all of a
helped
sudden,
with Lance?
No, I didn't help.
I was going to say, are you okay?
It's not because I'm not strong. It's because my limbs don't reach high enough because I'm too short. So like lifting my arm just doesn't do anything.
You're saying you're short though, so I didn't have to.
I can say it, damn it.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, the horror is over. I'm gonna go sit down, and all of a sudden I hear the DJ say, "Oh wait," and what did I don't remember exactly what he said, but all of a sudden I'd look over, and your mom's in the chair. How did that happen?
So I don't know. It was like she was like Flash. Like it was the craziest. Flash is like a really fast superhero, right?
Yeah.
So all of a sudden, I just know Lance went up, and I just in my mind, in my like, kind of because it was all a blur, and it wasn't. I mean, obviously I was drinking, but I was not in any capacity drunk at this point. But like, it's so surreal because you're planning this not only for the last physical year of planning, but like your whole life when you have a kid, that this moment's going to happen, and so. In your mind, you're like, the bar mitzvah. It's always in the back of your mind that this is going to happen at some point in your with your kid's life, that you're going to throw your kid a bar mitzvah when you raise a Jewish kid. So the fact that it's actually happening in this moment and we're doing the hora and like I was just hoisted on a chair and then Lance is hoisted, it's crazy in your mind. You're like, I'm thinking to myself the whole time, the whole night, I kept saying, just like I tried to do during my wedding, and I don't think I did a very good job during my wedding, which was like savor the moment, like feel every moment, soak it in. Like this is so exciting. Don't like be present, because I really was. I tried really hard to like enjoy I think I did enjoy it. So in that horror moment, I just remember laughing so hard because Lance looked like he was going down the whole time because Lance is a freaking 220-pound, 6'2" man. I mean, he's a big dude. And we had like 40 guys trying to lift him. And I think they were all like herniated discs at the end. It was so funny. I went to my brother-in-law right before Lance was going up. We were like, we need men. We were like grabbing all the men. And I looked at my brother-in-law. I'm like, not you, because he has like back issues. So all these people were like dying with Lance. And then I saw Lance go down, like stand down, and I looked to the side, and all of a sudden I saw my mom go, my turn, and like she ran. I've never seen anything like. She was like, I want to go, and she ran on there, and she just sat on the chair, and like, what are you gonna do now? A grandma is sitting on a chair, and then everyone was, and she goes, take me, yalla go, like that, and then like 4 guys were like, we can't like let her not.
No, she
what are you gonna
sit
do
there on the ground.
You can't put grandma. You can't like leave her hanging.
You can't say no to grandma.
You can't say no. So then all of a sudden they were like, okay. So they start lifting. And she's like, woo.
That was
like,
so funny.
And Lainey, my friend Lainey's, never in my life have I seen a grandma go up in a chair. Never in my life. And I was like, she's not like normal grandmas.
She is not. But
she's
she was
nuts.
She was hugging me and kissing me all night. It was
she
so adorable.
She probably still thinks you're my friend Zach Peter.
Which is
and
fine.
Then she,
but
yeah, the gay Mexican. And then she also says to me, after she's had like so many cocktails, I think, because she doesn't remember half the night. The next day I was like, so do you remember how the video like cut out at one point? And she was like, what? Okay, so after she's had a couple cocktails, she tells me, she looks at me and goes, Dana, you have to stop drinking. I said, why? And she goes, it's enough. It's too much, Donna. And I was like, what did I do that makes you think it's too much? It's not like I was acting like falling on the floor or like doing anything outrageous. She's like, I just know it's too much. And she was yelling at me. I was like, leave me alone. Do you know how much I paid for this freaking alcohol? Let me drink it. But she was acting as if I was like falling down. It was at 10 o'clock at night. Like no one cared at this point. Like the party was, Half the
She
people
also
were already leaving at this point. I was like, I'm drinking. Bye,
She
mom.
also got pretty angry at the dessert people, the ice cream
Stop.
people, because she was sitting with me and she was like, she started to take it, and like they had security around the ice cream so no one would take it because they
I
weren't
think I
ready
remember
to.
this.
I know because I'm like, you talk to your daughter. I'm like, I don't know, like I'm like
Because
just
they weren't
standing.
letting people start.
Yeah, because I was just standing there in line with Bellamy, like wait in Lincoln, waiting for it to open because they were almost done setting it up, but like she was trying to sneak it. She's like, "You're gonna tell Grandma you can't take ice cream?" She
I
was
am the
really
grandma.
she was really angry at this one dude working there. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, just talk to Donna, and then right as she went over to you, they opened it up. I'm like, take your damn ice cream. It's funny.
You
Anyway.
can't tell a 76-year-old woman it's not your turn.
No, no. Anyway,
Anyway,
it was a blast.
it was fun.
It was a lot of fun. You did a great job. And let's not forget how well Dylan did up there reading from the
Really.
Torah.
That's a
And
hard job.
it is. And, it's besides the fact of just getting up in front of, 100 people and reading, you're reading
And like
Hebrew.
I know, but also a full room. Like
Yes.
for me, even who is not like really scared to public speak, obviously, I stood up there and I was like, this is overwhelming because it was full. It's not a big room, kind of half empty. It was like packed like sardines, it felt like. And it was everyone and it was all those kids. And, at the school that Dylan goes to, you have to invite the whole grade because it's not a very big school. So they have a rule that if you're inviting at least half the grade, you have to invite the whole grade because they don't want people to be left out. So it's about 50 kids in their grade. And there's some kids, not naming names, some boys who are just not very well behaved, I'll put it that way.
Oh, I know.
I'm sure you saw them.
I was
Yeah.
in the bathroom peeing, and all of a sudden the lights kept on turning on and off.
Come on.
And people were throwing stuff in the bathrooms, and not people, children were
Boys,
throwing
yeah.
stuff back and forth. I'm like, can I just pee and wash my hands and get the
I
hell
know
out
the
of here?
group. I know the group. And
No.
like I don't think that apparently there was some drama with a couple of my adult friends talking back to them during the service cuz my friend was like, I've never had kids act that way, like ever during a service. Like it's tough, These are 7th graders that are dropped off without parents
Yes.
and left to their own devices for an hour and 15-minute service.
Yeah, it's very, very true.
And girls are different. Girls are going to be a little maybe obnoxious with their phones or whatever, but boys are rude.
No, the girls are quiet at least, but
Yeah,
they'll
they'll get up to go to the
else.
bathroom or look at their phones. Boys will like make fun, laugh, talk. Anyway, whatever. Okay, the party itself was amazing. What else is going on? Let's talk about being Jewish today. What other than a bar mitzvah? What else is going on in the world? I just got a notification. Let's see. This has something to do with Gaza. Let's see. I got a notification from the New York Post.
Everyone's favorite type of notification.
Okay, it says UN Security Council backs Trump's Gaza ceasefire. That's interesting. So we have that. And then also another thing, it says that Hamas's popularity is rising again in Gaza amid the ceasefire, despite public executions.
Is that forced popularity? Because if they're not popular, are they going to start shooting people? Like, is that what?
It says 51% of Gazans approve of Hamas's performing restoring order to the Strip and facilitating the flow of humanitarian aid following months of chaos and looming famine, according to the latest poll by the West Bank-based Palestinian Center for Policy and Survey Research. Trust that, right?
Well, I mean, they're killing people in the streets. If I was there and I saw my friends being killed in the streets because they're not supporting Hamas, what do you think I'm going to put on that poll?
It's unreal.
I'm going to say rah, rah, go Hamas because I don't want to get shot in the street.
This is so insane. Yeah, of course they're going to say, talk about dictatorship, talk about fascism. Of course they're going to say, yes, 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 yes. Anything they say, yes, 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 we support.
Yeah, it's of course, because this is how these regimes work. It's even these ridiculous communist regimes with Putin. Why do you think he keeps on getting elected? It's because you are forced to elect people you don't want to elect because they have such a stranglehold on everything. It's the same with Hamas. It's the same with the way that they're going to treat this. So even though, a ceasefire, quote unquote, is somewhat under, is somewhat happening, I can't imagine Hamas is going to give up power. This is who they are. They want power, and they will continue their ridiculous amounts of propaganda. And
Unreal.
killing. I know.
It actually reminds me. This actually reminds me of a clip I saw of one of the most annoying people that is such a loud voice in this stupid conflict here, talking about the conflict, I should say. And that's Dave Smith.
Okay, I'm like, I can name 800 people. That
I
could have
know,
been
me too.
so many different people. Dave Smith, I never hear anything about Dave Smith. Always in your algorithm somehow, but never in mine. So
You're
like
very
when you bring
lucky.
him up. I like when, well, don't worry, I get my fair share of bullshit. And actually, I want to hear this clip, and then I want to talk about one of the social media platforms that I am now getting into, because I hadn't been before.
Don't say Rumble.
No. Just go. No.
Okay.
Talk your thing, and then I want to get into this because I think it's very.
Have you heard? Okay, we will. Have you heard of the trigonometry pod?
No.
Oh,
I've
okay.
heard of it. Sorry, I've heard of it, but I've never heard it.
Okay, trigonometry is, I don't know a lot about like who the guys are, but they seem like legit dudes, like smart guys. I wish I could tell you more about like who they are. I think they have really good heads on their shoulders. I think they think a little bit like I don't think they're anti-Israel. I don't think they're anti-Semitic in any way. I feel like they're very like sensible people, and they bring on a variety of people on their show to talk about different world issues. Here's their Instagram. This is how it kind of came up on my algorithm, the Dave Smith of it all, although I see him on Instagram a lot. I mean, on X a lot. That's how he comes up in my stuff too.
Got it.
It's hosted by TriggerPod on Instagram. It's hosted by Francis J. Foster and Konstantin Kisin. The reason why I think that they're legit and like decent people for us to follow is because so many people that I like follow them, and I don't think so many people that I like would follow them had they not been like good people. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Anyway, so a lot of people that they interview are, they have like Brandon Tatum here, Sean Ryan, Ben Shapiro, Dana White. But of course, they also have like Dave Smith, who obviously is very anti-Israel. So they're talking to people from across the spectrum on all kinds of things, okay?
Yeah.
Really good clips, obviously really good production value. Anyway, I couldn't believe this one conversation. The reason why you mentioned Putin, and this one, I haven't watched the whole episode with Dave Smith, but I believe it was this one clip because it's called "War is Terrible." This is a really interesting clip. Watch this. Let me just make sure the sound is up. The caption says, "Should a country at war ever help its enemy?" It's about how Israel was supposed to be responsible to give all the aid for Gaza during the war. Okay?
Don't have a right to just kill innocent people, no matter how much you've been suffering. Like, it doesn't matter, even if the Israeli government...
what happened.
Well, I'm saying that say, like in the example of Hamas, or in the example you just used with Ukraine,
right.
It doesn't matter how brutal the Israeli government's been to you. You still can't just go kill teenagers at a festival. Like, it's not just a justified response. Sure. So I completely agree with you on that. But then also, as I said before, cutting off aid to the civilian population who's war-torn after 2 years.
How much aid is Russia providing to Ukraine right
Wait, hold on. Let me just finish my point here. Sure. Cutting off that aid is also not a legitimate response to, like, Hamas slow-rolling the dead remains of civilians.
Okay, but is, like, this is what I'm saying to you, is Russia's not providing any aid to Ukraine.
Yeah, but also doesn't have a blockade around Ukraine.
As much as it can, it does. They deliberately...
Well, Ukraine has been there's been no shortage of aid that's been getting
because
into
we are
Ukraine.
trying to help, but the Russians have done everything possible to cut off rail tracks and the supplies and everything. They're bombing logistical infrastructure in rural
I
Western
100%
Ukraine.
think that if Russia...
Russia's not providing any aid.
I
And no
agree.
one's saying,
And
why aren't they providing aid?
Yeah,
Because
but
they're
also
two
nobody's
countries.
defending what Russia's doing. Nobody here is saying, like, well, okay, maybe not nobody.
Have you been to Austin?
Okay, fair enough. To Washington, to D.C. Okay, fair enough. Well, look, even that, Washington, D.C. has been funding Ukraine to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars over the last
But that's
few
not
years.
my point. My point is no one is criticizing Russia for not providing aid to Ukraine.
I think
no one is criticizing Russia.
I think people have.
They're
all over the
criticizing Russia
civilized
for
world
invading.
Yes,
But they're not criticizing for not providing
look,
aid. No one says they have a duty to feed Ukrainian civilians.
well, it's also because the Ukrainian civilians aren't food insecure. They don't need. I mean, it's like look, like you said, there's more parity in that conflict. It's been much more military deaths on military deaths, and so it's just not the same dynamic. But yes, look, if Russia had Ukraine under a full blockade and then they invaded Ukraine and they weren't letting food in from the international community, absolutely, you would say you have an obligation to allow this aid in.
But they wouldn't.
Sure, okay, fine.
And no other country would either.
Well, I don't know about that. I
When
don't
the
think
US
no other country
when
would.
the US was fighting in Iraq, they cut off electricity and water to the cities that they were sieging. It's what everyone does.
Yes, to certain cities.
It is.
Okay, but yeah, but
It's
also,
how you fight a war.
but
also, okay, you would.
That's why war is terrible.
Okay,
by
but
the way.
also, yeah, I agree with that.
he's such a freaking idiot.
There has been, again, and we talk about this ad nauseum. It's like there's never been a more tactical war than this war, and the ability to try to minimize civilian deaths and civilian starvation. Now, the only reason these things happen is because of Hamas, right? You have them hiding behind their civilians and putting military, things in schools and hospitals. However, the entire time you have the IDF and other organizations dropping leaflets saying, "Please leave. We're going to bomb this area." Blah 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 blah. With enough time for people to leave, or the amount of food. Like, what war has happened where the country who is attacking the other country is delivering food, as that just said, right? It's ridiculous. Russia's not giving Ukraine food.
It makes
not
no
giving
sense. It's like wild. It's a wild theory and then not only are we giving the food, but we're not giving it well enough.
Right. And they're not blockading everything. I'm like, yeah, Ukraine is being completely blocked through everything. Russia wants them gone. Russia wants to take over this propaganda machine has been so amazing for Hamas and Palestine. And it has done such a great job at just making the Israel, and to a lesser extent the US, the enemies in everything. It is unbelievable how they have accomplished this. It's sad.
It's I mean, the only reason that they have is, well, I mean, we've talked about it probably 16 different ways, but through the funded kind of underground propaganda war and through education, through like liberal schools and liberal professors, through the universities underground.
But it goes even past that, because that was happening way before this war started on October 7th.
But social media blew it up.
It's everything, right? It's everything that's happened since then too. It's everything from the kind of shit that the BBC's been doing, where they've been holding back certain pieces of information and editing things.
Because they're all under that same kind of like mind virus, right?
And
so they went to school with all those same people. They've all been raised to hate Jews and Israel as well. And this is finally a perfect storm of like, let's go. All like it's almost like October 7th, and then the fight back was like the floodgates were open and everyone just said, this is our moment. What's crazy is that there weren't enough people in the media that put a stop to it. Like, that's what's crazy. And it kind of reminds me in the entertainment world too, like, don't laugh, and I don't want you to laugh at me, please don't, but I know that you're going to. But Harvey Levin was just did a podcast the other day from TMZ, how he was talking to Brian Friedman, which is he's a major, major, major powerful entertainment attorney, and he represents Justin Baldoni in this huge legal war. And TMZ is getting so much wrong in that legal reporting between Justin Baldoni versus Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively. And he was talking to Brian Friedman. They're close friends.
Yeah.
And Brian Friedman's like, you guys are misreporting all the time. And TMZ and Harvey's like, well, we can't trust the news. That's ultimately what it comes down to. So whether it's about politics, whether it's about world conflict, whether it's about entertainment, people are bought and misguided in terms of the news. Like, nothing we read can be trusted. That's honestly the truth. And just today, I just saw, I mean, we could talk about Israel for 3 hours about why this is wrong, but look at the Charlie Kirk assassination, right?
Mm-hmm.
The Charlie Kirk assassination. Well, actually, you know Sean Ryan?
Yes.
The podcaster?
Yeah.
He had over the weekend, I just saw a clip. I'll send it to you later. It's really fascinating. I just saw a clip, but I guess over the weekend he had Charlie Kirk's head of security that was next to him during the assassination moment. And he spoke to him for an exclusive, 1 hour, 2 hour video interview podcast. And it was, I haven't watched it, but this one clip, he talks about exactly what happened in that moment when the bullet hit him, how he jumped on top of him, how he saw the wound, how he tried to cover it up, how he carried him to the car, how he saw that he died in front of him. I mean, basically, the kid died instantly when the it was that bad of a wound. But Candace Owens, etc., are sitting here and trying to blame everyone under the sun except a shooter on the roof, right? Everyone is responsible for this death. Every country, well, not every, Israel, Jews, all of these conspiracy theories, but not just an angry man that is pissed off at Charlie Kirk's views, right? Because God forbid, it's just what it is.
Yeah, I mean, we don't need a convoluted explanation for everything to support your side of whatever narrative you're trying to talk about or prove.
So this security guard is explaining, and he shows a text message to Sean Ryan and says, the Monday before the week before that Monday that it happened, or whatever day of the week it was, I don't know. He has a text message where he texts the head of security at UVU, who's a police officer, but he's the head of security. And he says, I'm looking at the map of the event space of where Charlie's supposed to speak. I see that there's some unsecured rooftops. Because they were aware that this was a concern. Charlie was a hated guy. We're looking, we see there's some unsecured rooftops. From what I'm seeing, a couple of these rooftops have access, student access to the roof through stairways. And he says in text, so you see the text, and he says, do you need me to send security teams, or can you do we need to get someone there, or can you block it off for access? The security guard responds and says, we'll handle it. So the security guard goes, as a security guard, and he's also a retired police officer, his head of security. He goes, as a head of security, a retired police officer, sends a message to another police officer, head of security, who says, we'll handle it. What am I supposed to do? Not trust him?
Right, of course.
I trust him.
Right.
So I trust him and I leave it be. And that was not enough, clearly. But it's just that simple. A man got through and killed Charlie Kirk. And meanwhile, for 2 months, this girl is going off, and every single person, not every, but a huge amount of Americans out there are convinced that Israel still killed Charlie Kirk. That the Jews did it.
So this kind of leads into what I was telling you about the social media thing. So I'm not reluctant to get be a part of it, but one social media platform that I just was not really paying attention to, but I really started to in the last month or so is Threads, right? And you're on Threads.
Place of hate.
Right. And it has been very interesting in terms of, algorithms are algorithms and they find different ways to do different things. Now, for some reason, and maybe because I'm always commenting on them, I am now in the anti-Israel, pro-Hamas, pro-Palestine algorithm. So anytime I go on, it's going to be everything from all the anti-Israel people, random people, like they don't have to be like anybody special, to always Miss Rachel is in my feed. All of these different things. And
it's because you're engaging with it.
Well, it's true. But what I find interesting about it, which is different than what I've seen on a lot of other ones, like let's say, when I'm on Instagram, for instance, I'll get on where I'm on like a lot of pro-Israel things, pro-Israel comments. And when I go to pro-Israel accounts will come up in my feed. And when I go to the comments, it's always comments supporting the pro-Israel stance that this post is. When I go into threads, it's completely different for me. So I will have an anti-Israel or pro-Hamas comment or post from somebody. And then I'll go and start reading comments, and they're all fighting the person who made that post, including myself. So the algorithm is so different on threads, because even though it's still it's a post I don't agree with, yes, I am engaging with it, but there's so many other people that have the same view that I have that are engaging as well, that if you look at comments, it's just constantly comments against Hamas, even though the post is for Hamas. So it's interesting because I feel like on Instagram,
maybe you're seeing it because of the person responding to it is someone you follow.
It's not like I'm trying to figure this out, but that's one of the things I ruled out very, very easily. It just feels like Instagram is more of this platform that it tries its best to bring everybody together. This is just literally my view on this and like what I've seen. And then you have Threads that is like they're trying to pin everybody against each other.
Threads is seriously a hate platform. I'm telling you,
it's awful.
I know. So I got like a notification on Threads saying we're picking a small amount of people to survey. So I was like, yes. And it said, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, like, how satisfied are you? Do you find this app enjoyable? What do you find? And literally, I was like, 0, no, unenjoyable. And it said, like, write a short example. And I said, this is an app that is truly created to make people unhappy. It is a rage baiting app. No matter, because it's weird because it's connected to Instagram, so you would think that it like would relate to the people you follow.
Yeah.
Every time I go on Threads, the only posts I see are things that I don't like. It's rage baiting.
That's what I'm saying. It's like you have Instagram where it's bringing you closer to the content you want to see and bringing you closer to the people that you support, or whatever type of content organizations, all of these things that you support. And then you have Threads, which is doing the exact opposite.
It's so strange.
And it's all meta. It's all the same stuff.
Yeah,
so
like if I go to Threads right now, let's see like the first couple posts that I see. I'll probably get a little Bravo and then some anti-Israel. Yeah, so the first thing I see is a few Bravo things.
Okay, so here's the first one I see.
But I've been also very into Bravo this weekend because it was BravoCon, so I've been like engaging with a lot of Bravo stuff.
Here's the first one I see. Mom Donnie is so much better for the well-being of the Jewish community in New York City. So many people need to wake up. Okay, and that was with some rando. It wasn't anybody I follow. The next one I see on here is literally fuck Israel and fuck you.
Oh my God. Wait, on the left, do you see how you have 2 lines? Is it for you or following?
This is the for you one. This is
let me do for you.
Strictly just out. Let's see. Then I'll get like random ones of like my friends, right? This next one of my favorite hobbies is boycotting Israeli products.
My God.
Yeah, and then I'll scroll, and then there's a stop anti-Semitism one. So they splash in a few, but like I said, there's just so many in here that are just, as you said, rage baiting, where it's just a ton of people just trying to say, "Hey, fuck Israel," and then one of these other things, Netanyahu said 9/11 was a good day for Israel. Like, these are the types. Oh, then a boycott all Israeli products and services. Like, these are the types of things I see every time I go into Threads.
That's crazy.
I know, and I know I'm engaging.
I definitely
again,
don't get that much anymore.
it's
I think I've really truly fixed my Threads algorithm.
I'm jealous. I should try to fix it.
I've tried to, but X is very depressing for me right now.
Okay.
X, when I go to X, what do you get on X?
You know, I'm not gonna lie. I haven't been too much on X because I've been more on Threads than anything else, and as of late, so I haven't seen all that much. I mean, I still, like, in X, I'll get some of the, you know, I'll get a good mix of pro-Israel and anti-Israel stuff, and then I'll get like random other stuff like NBA stuff, college football stuff. So yeah, I'm still getting a little bit of everything.
Interesting.
I feel like Threads to me has been so unbelievably crazy when it comes to trying to want me engaging with and starting to fight against other people on the internet more than any other platform that I've ever used.
So get off of it. It's not
I really
good.
should. I really should.
It's not healthy.
No, it's not.
I was just saying at the beginning of my other show today, I said, I spent the weekend off of social media mostly. I was a little bit on Instagram for Bravo stuff, but I was off social media for the most part and off X, and I was so much happier.
I mean, it's supposed to help when you get off of these things.
But I notice it's X. It's like the Candace Owens, Tucker Carlson shit. Like, that was really depressing me in the last couple weeks.
So maybe I stay off of Threads.
Honestly,
and see how I feel about it in a week.
The Thread stuff is, or just see if you can like reset the algorithm, like really start engaging only with like sports or like happier things, because that's not going to help you. And they're idiots there, these anti-Israel people. They're actual idiots.
They're spreading QAnon level bullshit conspiracy theories about.
It's so stupid. So stupid. Anyway, Adam.
Yes.
Thank you for coming on Saturday. Thank you for your lovely, generous gift. Wow.
Oh, yes, of course.
So
of course.
kind, so kind. Well, and I can't wait to be at Bellamy's.
Who said you were invited?
Oh, shut up.
All right, good.
You guys, thank you so much for being here and subscribing and following and going through the journey with us.
Yes. Love
it. The road to
Love
Bar Mitzvah. And I'll have more energy next week.
Awesome. Thanks, Donna.
Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.